Hey everyone, welcome to my page. Today I just wanted to get into the question, why is God allowing all this to happen, which is something that I think we all go through, given the fact that we're watching all this stuff happen in the world, and it's incredibly traumatizing. It's traumatizing, it's triggering, it's confusing, and I think a lot of us spiritual peeps are just like scratching our heads going like, okay, well, if God is everything, and it's love, and if it has an organic timeline for us, why is it not intervening? Why isn't it doing anything? And so I went into the fields today, and this is what I came back with. It might resonate, it might not resonate, but maybe it helps some of you with a bit of clarity. Basically what it came down to, and I thought this was incredibly interesting, is that we are all bound to universal laws. This universe runs on a universal architectural structure. And in the beginning, as some of you may know, all there was God, all there was spirit. And the first thought that it had was, I am. This is me. I am a thing. And that created this massive rupture. It split itself off. That first thought made a split. And then from that, all these other splits came, and the realms were created. So, and the further away we go from that one point of all that is, the further down we come, the more dense we become, right? And so the 3D reality is about as dense as it gets, which is not negative. It's just like the density, it becomes more denser and denser. So some people reckon that it's 3D, and then from 12 the up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is where God resides. But God's thread is in everything, right? It's the building blocks to the architectural structure that is at hand. And so within this structure, there was beings that were created, because there's creation after creation, and then within those creation, there's creations. And it's just like this fractalized, never-ending, crazy, endless possibilities, multiverses, it's insane. But within this creation, there are beings that have split themselves off from God because they no longer wanted to abide by the universal laws and be accountable. And they didn't want to live up to their karma. And so they split themselves up from God. So now they have lost access to the heavens, right? But they've created this demonic realm, and are inhabiting bodies to be able to function on this planet. So they keep reincarnating on the planet. There's an entire grid structure around the planet that makes it really hard for the angelics and for God to come through, which is changing, I believe. And so what it basically comes down to is that these beings found a way to manipulate humanity into consenting to their ways. They're using psyops to get people to indirectly consent. So they are using the law of the universe to get people to consent. And this is where it becomes really difficult for God to intervene, because we all abide by the law of free will. So if we consciously or unconsciously consent to these psyops that are playing out, feed into the dark grids, keep interfacing with the demonic interfaces that are being put in place in the artificial structures and grid lines that have been placed around the earth to keep the God and the angelics out, to reverse us back to the organic timeline. It's all within the universal laws. So God can't do anything if we're consenting. Our guides can't help us if we don't consent to them. It goes against the universal law. We as healers are not going to go into someone else's field without their consent, right? So they've used the universal laws in order to, and that's not the only thing. There's other stuff that's going on as well. But the main thing is that we've created so much negative karma at this point by consenting, that this entire structure is being held into place by these laws, and these laws can't be changed. You can't, a magnet is a magnet. Those physical laws will always attract, right? That's the gist of it. When we split off from God and we travel through the realms and we come here, we are 100% responsible for our trip, not just this human life, but all the lives in all the different realms that we're living at this moment in all space-time reality. Karma is a motherfucker. Like, it is not fun. And we have to go through it. These beings that have cut themselves off from God didn't want to do that, amongst a bunch of other things within the universal laws that they didn't want to abide to. But we have to be responsible and accountable for our karma. If we want to serve, if we want to thrive, we have to take accountability for our karma and live it out and pray that we come out the other side. Action, reaction. Many, 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 many lives lived here, consenting consciously and unconsciously, making pacts and bounds with other humans, other beings. This is how they're keeping it into place. And the best thing that we can do is individually making sure that we take accountability for our karma and that we do not consent. We do not consent, and how do we not consent? By becoming aware of what they're doing and how we can stop consenting to it. This collective was ready for the Epstein files to come out, only because the collective consciousness was ready for it. It's a co-creation. People don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. And also, I think a lot of people parentify God, parentify spirit. The responsibility isn't there. It's within us, you know. That's what came through. More came through, but I think I'm going to leave it there. That's the gist of it. So if you're wondering about that, that's kind of what came through for me today. That was the core of it. There's a lot more around that, surrounding that, and you know, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. It's not pretty what's going on here. It's full on. And I wish everyone so much healing around all of this. And yeah, keep centering. All right.